Jordan always remembered the smell of the city. It was a mix of gasoline, fried food, and the musty scent of the damp cardboard boxes that served as his shelter on most nights. Growing up, he never imagined he would end up homeless. But life had a way of throwing curveballs that not even the best of US could anticipate. Jordan's early years were full of promise. Born in a small town, he was the pride and joy of his single mother, who worked 2 jobs to support him. She always told him that education was his ticket to a better life, and Jordan believed her. He was a bright student, excelling in school, and was even awarded a scholarship to a college in the big city. But the transition from a small town to the bustling city wasn't easy. The cost of living was higher than expected, and Jordan struggled to keep up with both his studies and his part-time job. His scholarship covered tuition, but little else. He juggled classes with late-night shifts at a convenience store, often getting only a few hours of sleep before heading back to campus. Things took a turn for the worse during his second year of college. Jordan's mother fell ill, and the medical bills started piling up. Despite his best efforts to balance everything, Jordan's grades began to slip. The college, unable to make exceptions, revoked his scholarship. Without the funds to continue his education, Jordan had no choice but to drop out. He returned to his hometown to care for his mother, but her condition worsened. She passed away within a year, leaving Jordan devastated and directionless. He had no money, no degree, and no family to lean on. Feeling like he had failed his mother and himself, Jordan decided to return to the city, hoping to find work and a fresh start. But the city was unforgiving. With no qualifications and little experience, Jordan found it nearly impossible to secure a stable job. He jumped from one odd job to another, barely making enough to cover rent. Eventually, he fell behind on payments and was evicted from his apartment. With nowhere else to go, Jordan found himself living on the streets. The first few nights were the hardest. He slept in parks, under bridges, and in doorways. The nights were cold, and the days were long. He quickly learned the unwritten rules of street life: where to find food, how to stay safe, and which shelters were the most welcoming. Despite his circumstances, Jordan refused to give up. He kept looking for work, going from business to business, asking for any opportunity. But the constant rejection took its toll. Employers saw only a homeless man and not the capable, determined person Jordan knew he could be. His clothes were ragged, his hair unkempt, and his spirit worn down. He often questioned whether he would ever escape the cycle of poverty. One particularly cold winter day, Jordan was sitting on a bench in a small park, his hands numb from the cold. He noticed an older man sitting nearby, feeding the pigeons. The man was well dressed, his coat tailored and his shoes polished. He looked out of place in the park, but there was something kind in his eyes. The man, noticing Jordan shivering, walked over and handed him a hot cup of coffee. Jordan thanked him, grateful for the warmth. The man sat down beside him and struck up a conversation. His name was Mr. Henderson, and he had lived in the city for most of his life. He asked Jordan about his situation, and for some reason, Jordan felt compelled to tell him everything. Mr. Henderson listened intently, nodding as Jordan recounted his journey from a promising student to a man living on the streets. After Jordan finished, Mr. Henderson remained silent for a moment, deep in thought. "You know, Jordan," he said finally, "I've always believed that everyone deserves a second chance. Life has a way of testing us, but it's how we respond to those tests that defines us." Mr. Henderson then shared his own story. He had once been a successful businessman, but he lost everything when his company went bankrupt. He spent years rebuilding his life from scratch, eventually finding success again in a different industry. He understood what it meant to hit rock bottom and how difficult it was to climb back up. Moved by Jordan's determination and resilience, Mr. Henderson offered him a job at his small publishing company. It wasn't a glamorous position, just an entry-level job sorting mail and running errands, but it was the first real opportunity Jordan had received in a long time. Jordan accepted the job with gratitude, determined to make the most of it. He worked hard, always showing up early and staying late. He saved every penny he could, slowly rebuilding his life. After a few months, Mr. Henderson noticed Jordan's dedication and offered him a chance to learn more about the business. Jordan eagerly accepted. diving into every task with enthusiasm. Over time, Jordan's responsibilities grew. He learned about editing, marketing, and customer relations. Mr. Henderson became a mentor to him, teaching him the ins and outs of the publishing world. Jordan soaked up everything he could, driven by the desire to prove that he was more than just a man who had once lived on the streets. Years passed, and Jordan's hard work began to pay off. He was promoted to a managerial position, overseeing a small team. His life had transformed. He had a stable income, a modest apartment, and, most importantly, a sense of purpose. He never forgot the struggles he faced, or the people who had helped him along the way. One day, Mr. Henderson approached Jordan with a proposition. He was ready to retire and wanted to sell the company. He believed that Jordan was the right person to take over. The offer took Jordan by surprise. He had never imagined himself in such a position, but Mr. Henderson's faith in him gave him the confidence to accept. Jordan bought the company with the savings he had diligently accumulated, along with a loan from the bank. As the new owner, he made it his mission to help others who were struggling, just as he had been. He started a program to provide job training and opportunities for homeless individuals, giving them a chance to rebuild their lives. Under Jordan's leadership, the company flourished. His unique perspective and compassionate approach attracted new clients and talent. The small publishing house became known for its quality work and its commitment to social responsibility. Jordan's journey from homelessness to success became a source of inspiration for many. He was invited to speak at events and share his story, encouraging others to never give up, no matter how difficult their circumstances. He reminded people that everyone had the potential to achieve great things if given the chance, and that sometimes all it took was one person believing in you. Looking back on his life, Jordan often marveled at how far he had come. The streets that had once felt so cold and unforgiving were now filled with memories of the challenges he had overcome. He knew that his success wasn't just about hard work. It was about resilience, perseverance, and the kindness of others. Jordan's story became a beacon of hope for those who felt lost and alone. It showed that no matter how dire your situation might seem, there is always a path forward. You just have to keep moving, keep believing, and keep striving for a better tomorrow. In the end, Jordan proved that he was not defined by his past, but by his determination to create a better future. His journey from the streets to success was a testament to the power of hope, the strength of the human spirit, and the incredible impact that one opportunity can make in a person's life. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more delightful stories.